hear me, we are going to be having some serious conversations today. And of course, these conversations are not for the faint of heart or people who are on their snake journey. Okay? I understand that there are a lot of people who misinterpret certain things and they pretend that their interpretation is correct. But this is also why I do what I do, because a lot of times the people who have snake energy, they let you know that they are the snake, and most of the time that is what they fixate on and pretend it is other people's fixation. People who are of the snake and serpentine spirit, okay, for those of you who are in a different as a serpentine, okay, you are understanding that most people who are serpentine spirited hate people with gifts, especially gifts of art. Okay, so if you're a poet, if you are a singer, if you are someone who has the ability to tame the anger and distraction or misfocus in people, they hate you. So come on in, let me know if you can hear me. If you can't hear me, I will try a different way. But yeah, let's talk about it, guys. I hope you guys are doing wonderful. Come on in, come on in. I look forward to having the conversation because this is important. If you're going to learn about your snakes, if you're going to learn about the people in your life who could possibly be a snake or how snakes present themselves to you, the best thing you could ever do is learn what to look for and how most of the snakes brand themselves. Okay? All snakes usually have the same branding. And outside of that branding, they never go out of it. Okay? They never leave their branding. And again, as you come in, let me know if you can hear me very well in the chat, if I need to adjust for you guys, or if you can hear me perfect. Okay, if you can hear me perfectly, come in and let me know in the chat, and we'll go from there. Very much a smoke and mirrors type of evening. So tune in. We love the snakes. Why? Because you have the power to tame them. They know this, which is why their goal is to directly speak against the divine, because they are not divine. They are made to wrap around the divine and mask themselves as such. And just like slavery times, and if you didn't know, every person, every denomination, I don't care if you're Mexican, I don't care if you're from London, I don't care if you're from India, every single denomination has had slavery in their midst. So there is not one bloodline that does not have a traitor. Okay, I don't care what you are, you need to understand your traitors and you need to know how to move around them. And sometimes it's going to take silence, but a lot of times it takes understanding. For people who are godly, you need to know your gift. And your gift is going to move that snake out of your way so fast, they can do nothing but bow to you. And it is not everyone's gift to be bowed to. So I'm going to help you understand why people think celebrities and different people are so worthy of being bowed down to. But the realization is that most celebrities are the snake that is directly standing in front of someone in your bloodlines with direct gifts. And those people are extravagant beyond words, because if they were ever to get their gifts out, it would heal a nation, probably yours directly. So I'm going to teach you guys directly how to heal yourself, how to use your senses, and many other things so that you can stop pretending you're the snake or you can't tame that snake. It's a reason why they show you in the ambulance the snake slithering up the rod. It's because they know they have the power to take you places you don't have a choice in. So know your snakes, because if you don't, you give them power they are not supposed to have over you. So come on in. Let me know if you can hear me clearly in the chat. Go ahead and drop it down. Drop it down, drop it down. Let me know, can you hear me clearly? It is time to expose the snakes. Okay? It's the season of doubles. Okay? And if you're going to drop knowledge, go ahead and drop it in doubles. So again, we're doing some channeling. It is our little time I can play. So please do let me know if you can hear me clearly. Let's talk about snakes. How many of you guys feel like you have a snake in your midst, and every time you take every step necessary, it's just something or somebody who seems to be stepping in your way, and you can't get away from them. You can't allow your gifts to make room for you, or you're too nervous to use your gifts. I don't care if your gift is painting. I don't care if you are a super athlete. I don't care what it is. How many of you guys have a snake that is keeping you from doing what you know you are abundant in, okay? And it's your gift. So let me know in the chat how y'all feeling. And guess what? Okay, we're gonna talk about this for what it is. Okay? So do tune in. And like I said, if you are someone who is divine and understands the importance of speaking within your community of safety, let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me clearly. And we'll go ahead and get into our conversations about how the divine are sabotaged and why so many people forget that only divine, okay, can use their divine gifts at any time. Don't ever feel that fear is something that is in the hearts of those who are just protecting that energy. Sometimes if you put it out too hard, too much at once, the only thing left to do is start smiting people who don't have your gift. So, shall we begin? Snakes, serpentines, men, women, witches, warlocks, people who don't understand the fight between fire and water and how every species does not have a fire and water fight. In fact, a lot of people are nothing more than the solidified version of water, meaning they don't understand how flow works, they are more rigid, and those are the very people who are trying to be in charge of everything that is going on in your life right now. So we're going to talk about something that people like to leave out of the conversation. And I always say this here, I have said this since I've come here. You cannot be politically correct and spiritually correct. Okay? I do not care if you like it or not. You have to choose. And for people who lean towards politically correct, you will notice that most of those people claim to be Democrats or for whatever reason. Oh, that's for the black people and the poor people. Then you'll have people, I'm a Republican. I hate bottom feeders. I hate this. And okay? People who are political have no intention of ever being spiritual. So the last people you need to be taking your spiritual advice from are people who are intertwined with the snakes that took over their nation. Okay? Most nations are still fighting to remember who they are because every generation they wipe out more of your lineage information and replace it with some sort of technology, some sort of distraction, and most of those distractions are meant to play on your senses. Because just like they say there is a season of a witch, the only people who know this is not true are people like myself because there are seasons for every species to reign. And a lot of people don't know their species, which is why if you forget yourself, you get eaten up from the inside out. Okay? If you don't remember where you come from, if you don't have an alignment with the species who have always been here to protect you, you do not understand how much you are loved. This is why zoos exist. At one point, you were the thing in the zoos, and the animals were free. So you need to think about why they let you be free and lock up the animals. Only one of you is not in your correct energy, and the one who is absolutely locked up. And it's no different than when you are considered a human who is gifted, and everyone else around you does not want to see you on stage because that means you can come from the crowd and command a stage. Why? Because you have been given the gift to do so. And only people who cannot show you their gifts are snakes. Talking is not a gift. Why? Because someone had to teach you a false language in order for you to communicate with tribes that you do not come from. The snake always has to give you an even ground. The snake wants to be your common denominator. In other words, I don't care what you say. If you're in America, this is Latin America. All of it is Latin. So if you don't speak Latin, Portuguese, Spanish, you are from somewhere else. Okay? I don't know who needs to hear this. Okay? But this is not Europe. So there's no reason for Europeans, okay, to be here telling people their history if your history was not Turtle Island before it was a place called America. I don't care if you like me. It's time for church. Okay? I'm going to say this again. If you understand that language is the most important part of your journey, you understand who the snake is. Okay? People from Africa who claim African knowledge have their own languages too. I don't care if you think you're Igbo. I don't care if you think you're whatever you are. And shout out to the Africans who know who they are and stand firm in that. Because why? You are the only people who could be considered allies. And every real ally knows in order to have a real ally, your ally has to know who the hell they are. Okay? So you can't be allies with people who are straddling the fence, and every time that fence changes, they jump on it. Okay, so well, I think it's funny because Europeans, if you pronounce it correctly with your correct accent, it says you're a peon. Okay, you're a peon. Okay, but you don't have to remember where you come from because we didn't name you. So when you get through, okay, a lot of people tell on themselves and they don't even understand how you are so bad with language. You're always snitching on yourselves because you didn't invent language. Some people are not supposed to be talking. But again, when snakes slither, they don't know what they're saying. Okay, so if you've been slithering in the wrong places, you have been listening to snake talk. Okay, get your snakes out your midst. Let's talk about people who would directly be snakes. Okay, who would directly be snakes? Well, let's start. Most snakes in every denomination always appear as something they're not. How do you know? Because, well, it's an image thing. So let's talk about image. People who could never be divine. People who could never respect and allow the divine to lead them. Okay, because they are the snake. Number one, women who wear dreadlocks in their youth. There is no reason for a woman in her youth to be locking her hair unless you hate her antennas. If your antennas are locked up, guess what? You ain't receiving no energy. You are locking in the energy and the only energy that you have. And as long as your energy is growing and exceeding and changing and evolving, there is no reason for you not to have your throw out because your throw changes with you for a reason. So that you are able to understand what's going on in essence. You understand time. Okay. Your hair helps you tell time better than any watch ever will. I don't care what you think. Get off the demon time. Okay. If you want to talk divine, you have to talk about things that make you divine. And if people are considering themselves divine, ask yourself one thing. Is their hair texture out? Okay? Not straight natural like me. I can be a straight natural. We can be athletes over here because I take care of my roots. Okay? People who really have dreadlocks and are spiritual, they are older. Why? Because they are locking up the energy they have grown into and protected. Okay? So a lot of women who start their dreadlocks in an older time, those are the only spiritualists you can really trust. They are. Because if you're in your youth, you are hiding the fact that you envy your roots. You don't want to see the texture. You don't want to see yourself. Every other race, I don't care if they're from Europe, I don't care if they're from Canada, I don't care if they're from Alaska, all of them usually have their hair textures out. I don't care if you think their hair is greasy, if they're a brunette, if they're a blonde. No one on earth hides their hair texture under wigs, braids, okay? And braids are another way to say, hi, I'm Medusa, okay? In other words, you're covering up something. It's not a protection style. You are the energy that protects you, okay? You protect you, not your hair. Your hair is an antenna. It's made to enhance your senses. So if your hair is intertwined with something that's not connected to you, in essence, that your blood flows to, it's nothing more than a way to cut off your oxygen to that very thing you're intertwining it with, including dreadlocks. Again, if you are not a male, males absolutely have more reason to lock their hair because what they are locking in is usually aggression and it helps them tame the energy that they would usually release through violence. So a lot of people don't understand. A lot of masculine men know they're masculine. They lock them dreads up and they make sure that they maintain their divinity and their masculinity in the balance. Because a lot of times, if they become intertwined with their hair and different things, they get to moving on different frequencies. Okay, that the dreadlocks gonna say, yeah, we ain't worried about that. Yeah, we not doing that. This is why a lot of times when you see different things happen, remember the young man who was found rolled up in that mat that they stopped talking about so quick, and things like that. Remember why Lil Wayne, okay, came out with the dreadlocks. And when you get through, okay, a lot of men already know they have to lock in their energy. Because if you don't, here comes someone trying to do you like Solomon. Okay, y'all remember the stories? Okay, and women hate to admit that a lot of women like to take your power through hair. They like to the women, the same hyenas who get in the heads, okay, of women and put all their hate mapping and envy into other women's heads are the same people who always want their hands in men's heads too. Okay, be careful of the hyenas that always need to know your map because the map they're receiving, they can't even explain to you how they are setting the groundwork for where your feet go, how you view yourself, how you view how you lock in energy, how you release it. There's the people who decide what energy gets cut off and whatnot. Some of that energy y'all let people cut off, you need it. They're the main people who turn around and take that hair and do very, very egregious things with it. And they are the people, the main people who will sit up in church and everywhere else. Okay, those are your snakes. So if they have a wig on, okay, if they're always in braids, okay, if they don't want to show their froze, okay, these are the people you need to be watching for because they are absolutely snakes. And not just this is the summer. If you're not going swimming, if your hair deserves to be out. It is how your scalp breathes. So if your scalp is not breathing, there's nothing else in your body you can convince me that is alive. I do not care what you say. It is not divine. As a woman in her youth in any way to have dreadlocks on your hair, you are covering up the fact, trying to spiritually, that you are masculine energy. Also, that you do not like your natural hair texture because it also gives people who are indigenous to this land a way to look at you and tell you apart from us. Our froze even sit different. How many Africans you even seen with a fro for real? I'll wait. Real definition of stop saying you're Afro Latina if you scared to wear your fro. There's not an Afro Latina alive, okay, for real, from African places, okay? And the real Afro Latinas are here. This is Latin America, all of it. So if you want to understand snakes, let me help you out. The only people who will be your indigenous allies and tribe, I don't care what their spirit animal is, are going to be three people. If you are a black person, if you are a Hispanic person, or someone else who comes from those lineages. Let me help you out. It is going to be people who are from Portuguese, okay, descent, who speaks Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese, okay. Imagine if they said people in the UK, Canada, and the United States don't all speak English. They understand each other. Can anyone explain to me why all the Negroes on the Latin continent all speak a different language in the same on the same continent? They are literally on the same continent. Okay, I don't care how they say, "Oh, no, you're no longer a part of this. Now this is Mexico. Now this is Brazil." Now that when you get through, all of this used to be one continent, and all of us spoke the same languages. So there's no reason, like I said, if Australians can understand, okay, Canadians can understand, um, people in the UK, okay, there's no reason why Black Americans cannot understand Black Hispanics, and there's no reason why Black Hispanics can understand Black Americans and Black Brazilians. Black Brazilians speak Portuguese, Black Americans speak English, and your Black Hispanics speak Spanish. You mean to tell me we're this close and they don't want you talking? Why? Because only people like myself who are polygons, who understand you cannot be divine if you don't understand how to bridge the gap. You're not the gap bridger, you're the snake trying to stand in between those who are bridging the gap. You are not from here, that's why they brought you from a dry place and want you to get in the way of us remembering our water. Now, let's talk about the water because snakes, okay, have to be careful what water they get in. If you're really indigenous, you're going to get in and you're going to join the conversation. Okay, we channeling baby. What's up? So, let's talk about it. When it comes to water, water was here before land. Okay, only something that couldn't see. Let me help you understand. When you get to certain levels of the ocean, you don't need your eyesight because you can't see. It's too dark. Unless you have a gift, that's the only time you're going to be led to places underneath the ground where there's light enough for you to see. Okay? If not, your sight is not a gift you need. Who said let there be light? Something that couldn't see, something that was being preyed upon by things it could not stop. Okay? Also, for people who don't understand what I mean, let me bring it home to you. To this day, right now on Earth, okay, 75 to 80% of the Earth is still water. Okay. Oh no. Okay. Everyone's like, how do you get all these continents? I don't care how many more you create. It's still more water than it is your dry land because being on dry land was your curse. Everything you need is in the water. Everything there's not a thing in the water that does not have what it needs. And you don't have to close your eyes in the water, only in the dry air. Okay. You ain't got to worry about blinking. Okay. That's why if you blink, you'll miss it. Well, you wouldn't have to blink if you was in the water when you were supposed to be, but you were cursed out of it. Okay? You were cursed out of it. And the water, this is also why Jesus said he walked on water. You better, okay, you better walk on top of it because you know damn well if you get in it, it is your curse. Okay, you are cursed to the land, which is why you value that land, and your goal is to go against that water, which is why they tell you to rebaptize yourself in water. You came through the womb for a reason. You came through the womb for a reason. Now, let's continue helping you understand how is it that the earth is still to this day, right now in time, 70 to 80% water, and people are still talking about sirens and mermaids and other creatures or the devil, but you can sit up and watch Discovery Channel and be like, I love the ocean. I love finding Nemo. I love people who are telling you about the water you come from, knowing damn well they have never gone to certain depths, but the reason why they won't let you is because they know their curse will start and yours will be unbroken. Okay, I said what I said. The water was here first. And the main people trying to make you think you are the desert and the desert only won't teach you that the people from the desert for real, if you are made to mix, the only way you are mixed is if you are of a deserter and of a indigenous, meaning one of your parents is African and you can look at the other one and tell they are indigenous to here. Because the main pairings of people here, I don't care if you're Hispanic, I don't care what you are, is light dark. Because they are trying to get you to breed out your genetics. And past that point, a lot of y'all do not have the ability to shape shift anymore. You've mixed so many bloodlines. Whatever made certain glands do certain things. Your eyesight got worse. Okay, your hearing is worse. You having people born with deafness. You having people born with blindness. And when you get through, they purposely have put you in a position where they have bred you out of your godliness. This is why people be like incest, incest. No, no, no. People used to breed based on keeping their gifts within their family, so they didn't taint it. Only other people who were gifted wanted to breed with other people who were gifted, so they could continue their gifts. They have put you in a position as a gifted person to where you are battling the ungifted, and in doing so, even if they realize you're gifted, they are your snake. So they will never clap for you. You can sing better than Beyonce ever could. You think they're gonna clap for you? No, they are your snake. How do you know who's your snake? They cannot clap for your gifts. They cannot let your gifts make way for them because they are not who you are. If they were, they would let your gift shine because they are what you are. These are people who want to be seen as better than you. Okay? Ooh, we black Americans. They won't clap for you because they're Africans who are traitors. Or they are people who are more of Hispanic bloodline who know they are Hispanic bloodline but don't have any connection to their roots. Okay, the amount of people who get online, I'm Afro Latina, I'm Afro Latina. If you do not speak Spanish, be quiet. If you do not speak Portuguese, and I ain't talking a little bit. Okay, we ain't talking about que lo que, that's my homie. Okay, we're talking about for real. If you don't have any roots, if you're not fluent, you are not Afro nothing. You are not Latina nothing. You are not Hispanic nothing. Okay, this ain't black freaking baddies. Okay, we ain't none of these fake skin bleaching, calling ourselves things that we are not. I said what I said. You can come for me. Because when you're divine, the last thing you're worried about is people who don't even understand where they come from. And when people try to tell you, you're so in love with the snakes that you start praising the snake instead of letting your earth gods make room for you because they're the only ones who can. Your snake has never made room for you. So why are you still clapping and cheering in your snake's tracks? Again, if her hair is not out, I don't care how good she got that wig glued down. Okay, I don't care how good them boho braids look. Your snakes are usually trying to look good for the white people who told them that natural is not enough. And your natural is everything. I don't care who you are. I don't care if your hair is straight and it's thin. I don't care what it is. Rock your natural. That is your natural intentness. Okay? Rock it. Nurture them. Be intimate with your roots. Your hands and your roots always need to be intertwining. I don't care if it's just for stimulation, for comfort. Just so your roots know that you never forget about them and that you're in control of them. Nobody else should have their hands on your roots more than you, and nobody else to be able to make their look look better on your roots than yours do in your own head. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's the baby hairs. I don't care what it is. Never trust a snake that won't show you their roots. Next, let me tell you how to tell the real snakes. Again, water was here before land. So, the curse that people want to miss is that a lot of people are in love with their curses. So much so, anyone who comes here to break you from the traitor and the fact that they are only here benefiting because they know they're a snake to you are the people who detour you away from the fact that they are your snake. How do they detour you? Let's talk about it. The main way that your snake detours you from your earth angels is trying to talk against them. Okay? You pay attention, there are a lot of people who are snakes with dreadlocks and wigs on and different things who are usually trying to intertwine God and the Bible with things that you have never heard or seen once in your Bibles. Why? Because they are the snake. All snakes hide behind politics of hatred and people filled with it. Okay? Don't believe me? People who talk about religion. And let me know if you can hear me well. Let me know in the chat. But again, when it comes to your snake, your snake will always try to detour you away from your truth because your truth is older than their lives. So when you are learning to be in divine knowledge, your snakes come along and stump you with lies that are recent. And all of those lies usually start at religion, politics, law, okay, the isms, the colorism, okay, the education system. But this is why white people had to put everyone else usually in an education system because the white people figured out you won't even listen to knowledge if it ain't a white person telling you. Okay? Again, the main snakes always regurgitate whiteness, the isms, politics. Religion is a part of those politics. I don't care if they're Islamic. I don't care if they call themselves Muslim. I don't care if they call themselves Christians, Catholics. Religion stunts you understanding what's underneath that veil. And if you don't understand what's underneath that veil, by the time you lift it up, it's doing nothing more than attacking, and you have no sort of sustainability for you to stop the attack. It literally is something that stunts the learning of your mind in order for you to be divine. Okay? It stops you. This is evil. This is this. The main people who say things are evil and witchcraft are your snakes. Why? Because in order for you to learn divine knowledge, you have to go against the people who call divine knowledge evil. Why do they call it evil? Because once you start breaking barriers of your mind that they did not set for you to break, then at that point, they have to open their eyes and their tongues and admit why they are so full of lies, disdain, hatred, and why they are cursed with no gift. None. I don't care who it is. Okay? I don't care who it is. The next time you listen to someone talking about divinity, femininity, I want you to ask yourself, do they have a gift? Do they know how to paint just looking at something? Do they know how to sing? And are they so good you would think they're famous if their name was out? Okay? Again, if you're going to support yourself, you have to support the people who are really like you. The people you know had to go from the bottom to the top. Because the people who are saying they are at the top are your snakes and they are your imitators. Why is Cardi B famous? Because she's imitating people who love her. And they show, a lot of black women show you love your snakes, but you hate each other. And there are so many people that you know act just like Cardi B, and you would come online and shit on them every day if you could, then turn around and know that that same person would come into your life and rain havoc if they wanted to. You are the snake. Okay, you can love your snakes. Okay, you can't get mad when that snake devours you and profits your abundance off of you being your own snake. Okay, as many millions of people as it is in America, there's no reason your snakes get more praise than your earthly gifted earth angels. And then your shape-shifting earth angels who put everything else at bay because you have both. Every denomination has their shape-shifters. Why? Because only they can go places they need to go to hear what they need to hear, disappear who they need to disappear out of your way. Real definition of imagine putting faith in something that has nothing to put faith in. Their faith is in you believing They are your angel. Past that point, they don't have an image to live in. Most people who cry about Africa and coming over here on boats, none of you will go back to Africa right now. If someone paid you, you wouldn't go back. Why? Because you are a snake to your own people. You're here to borrow the people you know have the work ethic to produce a lot more than you can. But you also want to sit on people who are still stuck in the same poverty and harshness and masculinity and dryness that you come from. The people who are not like that, they are elevated in a divine way because they don't think of money and the isms as everything. Their main topic of conversation is not femininity. Okay? Their main topics of conversation are not Jesus in the Bible and something else that the government gave you to tell you what your essence needs to appear like to them, for them to elevate you in their system of monopoly. This is a big game of monopoly. But if you are gifted and if you are really divine, you don't have to go through their system of monopoly. You create your own. And once you do so, the snakes are the only people who can get in your way from creating your own monopoly, your own love, your own version of everything. The only reason why we have people like Elvis, okay, is because that we have black snakes, okay, and for every other religion, okay. I don't care if it's J Lo, I don't care who it is. Every religion, every denomination has a snake in it and the face of it, and they're slithering and smiling, and the community as a whole is there cheering for the snake because they hate themselves. When you understand that, the only way you can bypass that is knowing your gifts. What is your gift? Stop listening to people talk. Snakes talk because they don't have a gift other than slithering, and that gives them a reason to be in your grass. If they don't have your gifts, if they do not have your genetic makeup, you need to stop slithering and allowing people to slither in your space and having conversations with them. Be quiet because you're allowing them to come in your space, take the conversation, and wear your face and say, "Oh, well, my mom is this, my dad is this is my boyfriend is this, and this is why people cry about why they can't get to a certain point, but you can't cry when you're also in love with your snake. Okay? I don't care who it is. Most people are in love with their snake, and they literally praise the snake more than the people who are saying, "What do you need out of your way? What do you need in abundance so that you can stop lacking spiritually in places you need to enhance so that you can get out of the snake's path?" Only certain gifts, only certain people in your bloodline have the ability to block the snake. I'm going to give you an example. A lot of people who have gifts, your gifts heal people around you. Not only do they heal people around you, they heal yourself. Okay? Your gifts heal yourself. Okay? So, say you are a painter. Stop thinking about what you think people would want to see. Paint what you feel. Paint what you know. Okay? Paint the emotions that are allowing you, okay, to feel. Okay, I don't care if it makes sense, if it don't make sense. I don't care if the colors are trippy. I don't care if it looks like a lucid dream. Okay, paint your pain. Paint your pleasure. You need to know both. You need to feel both. That way, when they present themselves, you don't have to choose. You know what to do and how to interact with both. They do not overstimulate you. Okay. They do not overstimulate you. Your gift is healing. Okay. You get too mad, do your gift. Okay. You get too depressed, do your gift. Okay. You feel betrayed, get alone, use your gift. Okay. I don't care if it's playing an instrument. Okay. I don't care if you play the clarinet. I don't care if it's the drums. Use your gift to break yourself out of anything that's ever in your way. Because a lot of times your gift is the only way that you shut up the snake. The snake does not have your gift. Sing and make sure you're singing about your testimony. Can't nobody tell your testimony like you can. Okay? They can't hit all the feelings, okay, that you have because you have a gift. Okay? I don't care how much they get up there and talk and it sound good. What's their gift? Okay, if they gift can't get up and make everybody stop talking and move, okay, or be moved by it, they are the snake. Okay, and snakes have to be tamed. How do you tame a snake and move your ass right past it? Your gift, the gifts that are made for you to move things out of your way are singing, high vibrational things, and the most high range gifts are people that have a gift of sight. Other people do not, meaning you can paint and portray things with your words that other people cannot. And it's not just simply talking a mere language. Okay, the poet that you are. Okay, the prophetess that you are. Okay, the minister that you are would be through your gift. And if they are not ministering to you through your gift, they are the snake trying to take you off of the person who wants to get them out of your way. And it is that simple. If they don't want you to know past his perverted knowledge, what is perverted knowledge? Everything you learn kindergarten through 12, and then after that too. Okay? If they don't want you to know anything past what the Bible says, if they don't want you to know anything past what such and such says, they are your snake. Meaning they need you to worship them. And as long as you worship them and agree with them, your higher alignment cannot come. They are blocking it. They need you. What do they say about misery loving company? People who are miserable will keep you in their company and they will be talking about whatever it is they know is stimulating your mind in a different direction. But if they can pull your mind from that direction before you get your healing, before you get your abundance, go ask some of the people who are telling you they're divine. Ask them for something. Ask them for $500. Ask them to help you with your water bill. Ask them to help you with some stuff. Okay, watch how quick they tell you stuff like pray about it or do this. People who are divine don't have to ask. They're gonna give you. They're gonna bless you. Why? Because only the abundant are abundant for real because they are in the blessing business. Okay, so when they say God is in the blessing business, if they're asking you for something and they're not blessing you with stuff, they are your snake. And they need you to be distracted because the abundance you're giving them, you need to be investing it in your gift or your protection. Most of the time when you're gifted, you are in two phases all the time. It is either high abundance or you are in a season of distraction because you are intertwined with the snake. You have to figure out what season you're in. What is distracting you? How is it distracting you? How is it taking your attention away from your divine knowledge? Why do they think their divine knowledge is more than your self sufficiency in understanding your path? People who have to reiterate their divineness is usually because they have none. They are mimicking. They are the snake. Again, they are not in the same playing field with you when they understand real language. None of these people claiming to be divine, all of the women claiming they are serpentines and prophetesses, they're only doing so because they are your snake. If you didn't know, my name means love. And if you love people, you tell them the truth. People who don't want you to hear the truth because the truth is stranger than fiction, they're still scared to see themselves. They're still scared to admit you are not the only creatures on earth right now. You have never been the only creatures on earth. And something told you you are human. Something told you you are a Homo sapien. Something told you you derive from monkeys. Okay, they're letting you know you come from something that was not human. They have humanized you. And because that, you are feeling things in your essence that gods don't feel. It doesn't interfere with people who know, oh, that's fine. I'm just going to do this. Oh, yeah, that's nice. But I'm super fast. I outrun you. There's nothing. I can run circles around you. I'm stronger than you. I can do this. Okay? I'm quicker than you. I have more rhythm than you. When you get through, when you understand your godliness, you do not have to talk in circles for people to like you. Most of the people who are likable, it's only because they are fake and they are snakes. When you are really divine, you are hated. People hate the divine. In fact, the only reason I have views right now is because I'm channeling. Okay? So at any time, if I want to channel, I channel. If I do not want to channel, I chill so that people can see the snakes are always in my midst. And I'm always telling them because I will never come here and put out the wrong thing for people I know are my real tribal bloodlines and they are battling snakes. That's why I tell people, reach out if you need to. I'm going to give you your information. Reach out. Okay? Don't let nobody stop you from getting your divine knowledge because they're charging you a arm and a leg. Get your knowledge. Where are you from? Who are you? What were the shapeshifters of the bloodline you come from? What did they shapeshift to? What is your gift? Are you super fast? Are you super strong? Are you the best singer in your bloodline? Are you really good at sight? Do you have night vision? What is your gift? Are you electromagnetic? Do you pull people in with your eyes? Do you understand how certain things in this world were set up for you to never know yourself? Only the monster that tames you and destiny swapped you and called you snake. How could a snake eat itself unless it was trying to commit suicide? Okay? Serpentines don't have love for anyone. That's why snakes are unpredictable. The only ones who are not are those who are tamed by the gifted. So at all times, you can go to church, but you have to sing. Because if not, the church will be full of people showing they are the snake. You have to tame them. Some snakes are tamed with loud noises and bass. Some snakes are tamed with octaves, tenor, soprano, alto. But all snakes have a song they love more than anything. And once they hear that song, the person singing it is the only person that will make them actually open their eyes and change in front of the world. Because at that point, the world is seeing you're moving like a snake, okay? You eating like a snake, okay? Your energy towards people who are divine. You have to ask yourself, if people are really divine, why are you so against other people who are divine too? Okay? If we need a community of divinity, why aren't you able to come together in divinity and make the strongest alliance? No witch riding the broom could ever bring any weapon against you. It's an energy. It is an energy. And people who are your snake keep you from seeing the people who are indigenous to your own lineage because they are the snakes from dry places who want your water. They need your water. They need you to forget your water. Okay? But you need to understand they're going to set the little bit of land that's here in the first place, they're going to set it on fire. Okay? And you're going to sink or swim, and most of y'all are absolutely not swimming. Okay? You're getting pulled down, and you're getting pulled down because you forgot who you are. If you remembered who you are, if you remembered why you're so fast, you think you fast on land? Okay? That speed really wasn't for land. Okay? I don't care how fast your car goes, how fast it's in that. You think you can race against creatures in the water? What do you think was here first? Water creatures or land? Why do you think it's called a catfish? Okay, why do you? When you get through, certain things have been here well before. Okay, the land was the curse. Okay, that's why you only have so many breaths before you pass away. Almost every creature of the water that is of the real mammal species, meaning they were original tributes. Okay, they all live up to 152 years. The only reason why whales and different creatures pass away younger now, within 70 to 80 to 90-year time span, is because of how much shit y'all keep buying and collecting and trying to show off and dumping the packages in the water, the trash, the diapers. You are polluting the only place you're going to need to retreat to for safety, and it's going to be full of so much tainted pollution and bad energy. You are already there helping you dilute yourself. Imagine when the only thing that can protect you when they're on fire is where you come from. That's why you're so fucking wavy. Okay, that's why your vibrations make you have to do shit you don't understand. But you would understand that more, okay, if you understood where you come from. Okay, we ain't just talking to black people. We're talking to all the people who have an obsession with natural rhythm. And naturally, when you hear certain frequencies, your body moves to it. We're talking about the people who are addicted to rhythms that are not their own. Your snakes. Okay? And a lot of these snakes come to you, letting you know they will never get out of your way because they're not supposed to. Either tame them with your gift or allow them to come play in your face. Okay? And you never want to play in the snake's face that long because most snakes cannot help but to devour you. Meaning they're going to do everything they can to set up the perfect play of being able to take your energy out of your body so that they can forever reign as the snake. Okay? Most people in their snake season right now. So when you understand that, I encourage you, all the people talking about divinity, all the people showing flashcards with words on them now instead of tarot cards, all the people who are talking about they are Afro Latina, go back 1 year ago, check their profiles, and if they don't have any videos and things up from a year ago, guess what? They're the liar, they're the snake. No one's going to be on YouTube 5, 6, 7, 10 years deleting all the hard work they put into their older videos unless they are the snake. I say what I say. People who are ungifted, people who are mimickers, copycats, liars, the Levi's liars, okay, they will always rebrand, and most of the time they have to double back and delete what was here for a long time. You can have 5,000 videos on here. No one's going to care, okay? It's the snakes who have to let you know, oh my God, if they see this video, they're going to know I used to do tarot cards. If you see this, they're going to know. When you get through, go back to a year and a half ago and see why any of these people were talking about what I'm talking about. See how many people are now talking about Masons and that they come from a Masonry bloodline. Go see how many people are sitting up saying they're Afro Latinas or this and that, and you'll understand why most black people and other races in America, they are prone to be snaked because they love the snake more than they love doing the work of harnessing their gifts, harnessing their senses. Okay, you love the technology they give you and put at your fingertips. Okay, and other things to taint your senses. Your senses are so strong, you should be able to hear 2, 3, 4, 5 miles away. You want to know why you can't? Because the devil is busy. And peace be still. Okay? Especially those people. I live in the city. I'm in New York. I don't give a damn where you are. A lot of times your spirit is in busy places because your mind is never at peace. People who like peace are in peaceful positions and environments. And again, you can't have a soft life when your environment is tough. Remember that. Look at the environment. Look at the people around them. Look at the situations they let you know they're in. People who are really gifted, I don't care what you go through. Most of the time, you could go home and use your gift, and that gift is going to keep you in the right state of mind. That gift is going to keep you motivated. And I don't care if you're 40, 50, still trying to do it. Most of the time, you're still surrounded by the same snakes you was at 20, 30. Okay, 20, 30 years old. Okay, that doesn't change. The same snakes who was around you then, okay, gonna be around you when you're 40, 50. Okay, the difference is a lot of them have deleted themselves trying to be a snake to energy that don't let you snake it. Okay, so you ain't got to worry about the snake when you have the power, when you are truly divine. And those who are shapeshifters, there is not one place where you can gangster walk on the ceiling and take the breath out of your enemy. You better know who are your earth angels and how to love them and appreciate them because every tribe has earth angels. And what they do is move the snake out of your way. Okay? Stop being buddy buddy with your snakes. Stop telling your snake what you're doing. Stop telling your snake how you're healing. Okay? I don't care how many views I get. I'm not here for views. If I want them, I'll take them. It is that simple. Get your knowledge. Get your healing. Be silent. Stop sharing your healing mechanisms and your rituals with your snakes. Stop sharing your love, your light, your darkness with snakes if they are not your lineage. Okay? If they are not indigenous to this place. You're gonna know people who are indigenous to the Americas, they not scared of you talking about mermaids, they not scared of you speaking Spanish, they not scared of you talking about witchcraft. When you come from Jim Crow and slavery and children being fed to alligators and everything else, you do not have no reason not to know history. It's simply history, okay? And it's a his story. Well, when you start learning her story and what women went through, what kids went through, what your old spirit animals went through, why certain spirit animals are still in the zoo on medications you cannot afford, okay? The zoo animals get more higher doses of medicine than you ever will. Because if they actually were not sedated, they would be riding the wind for you and through you right now. Do you know how to call your spirit animals? They'd be up there 20, 30, 40 deep. You will never have to worry about a drive-by. You will never have to. A lot of people don't understand where they come from. You have the power. And if you don't enhance the power or learn how to do it, you will never have it. You will be doing this all day while the enemy is setting up to make sure you never learn how to build that power. They're going to put every other obstacle in your way. Stop talking to your tenders and the people who try to deter you from the gifted. And only the gifted have a gift of delivering your knowledge through gifts. If they can't come up here and give you a song, if they can't come up here and play an instrument, if they can't come up here and do something that soothes you without talking, they are ungifted. I don't care if they're doing meditations. I don't care what it is. Most of them are only coming back online or pretending to be meditators and mediators because they are competing with the earth angels who are here to heal you and move everything else out of your way so that your gifts can be abundant. Real earth angels, real shapeshifters, real people of love. If you didn't know, my name is the High Voodoo Priest Amore. My name means love. Okay? So I have no reason to come here and give you nothing but truth because that's the only way you'll learn to love yourself when you realize you're greater. You can never be the 10. And what do things with its head cut off do? They run around. Be still. Be still and look around you and see who is your traitor, smiling in your face. Look at how many people around you know you're gifted, and then go hype up people they don't know from Jack and Jill. I love Doja Cat, but your cousin is more gifted than Doja Cat. Your brother is more gifted. Okay, your cousin is more gifted. Your snakes sit in your midst and laugh in your face because if they don't acknowledge you, the world won't. But that is what earth angels are for. I don't care who laughs at you. I don't care who wants to be in your way. If you need them out of your way, you better make sure you're talking to the right people because everyone is our person. And people, okay, who are not really people, you are just here in people form. They are the only people who don't mind doing what doers do for free. Move things out of your way. That is the most fun for people like myself because everything you don't need a price for. Freedom is fucking priceless. And for people who deserve to have their gift displayed, worshipped, adored, lifted, elevated, ascended into, so that they can heal the nations and the love and the blood around them, they will absolutely. There's nothing they can't ask for and receive. So again, who's blocking their own abundance? Most families. Who's blocking their own abundance? All the snakes. Okay, the snakes want to be tender to you, but if something comes along and elevates you out of that snake's midst, who do they have to hold on to? Other people like themselves. Remember that. Okay, so most people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're a witch. You're this." Real witches love false, perverted knowledge, and they move just like the same people you see in Hollywood who push the isms on you in the first place. And if you pay attention, a lot of the people pushing their divinity are all wearing different isms, whether it's texturism, colorism, okay, sexism, okay, whatever it is, they're wearing it with a badge of honor to take your attention because they know past the isms, most people can't think of clarity because you're using your fake sense of eyesight. Your eyesight was not made for you to judge colors incorrectly. If you were doing so, you would understand the brighter the color, the more dangerous they are. And it's not in femininity and softness, it's because of their connection to people who were bright and white and thought they were white about everything. Okay? So you can read between the lines. Okay? That being said, you have to understand what point of healing you're at. When you understand what point of healing you're at, look at how most people see you're at a point of healing and trying to deviate the path you go. You don't let demons and tethers and other things that are not your essence distract you away from what is your divinity. They wouldn't understand it. Of course, they would call it witchcraft. Of course, they would call it demons. Of course, they would call certain things they are blind to. They have a reprobate mind. So there is nothing in them that would allow them to see their own freedom. They love their snake and the snake that gave them the information that makes them a snake to themselves. Once you see past that, you ain't gotta let everybody know you're gifted. Come online and start using your gifts. I don't. You can paint 50 shorts, different pictures. You can come on here and design 50 outfits. You ain't gotta talk. You can even just put background music up and be like, show them your gift. Shut them up with your gift. Let your gift make room for you. And for those of you who want your gift to be made room for, hit my inbox. Okay, my information is in the bio. And unlike some people, you don't see me on here begging for conversation and abundance because I want not abundance loves me. Abundance follows me everywhere my feet touch. And if you want to be the same way, guess what? You have to stop following your snake and you have to stop letting the snake in your midst as you heal your bond with broken knowledge. It is yours. There is nothing here before the water. This is the water and fire. And some of people like myself come with water and fire because you have to put on both to put certain energies in its place and also to have the key to allow people in who need the protection of the water. The baptism you need is actually in the ocean, actually in certain seas. And only certain spirits can make sure you are baptized in the correct protection because other people cannot get in the water. If you think they use you for the Olympics and train you, imagine if you knew the things you can do in water is why they don't want you in it. That's why they always say black people can't swim, certain people can't swim. Fuck around and start learning your strengths in the water. Mess around and start understanding how water helps you enhance every single last one of your senses. Your touch, your sound. Okay, get in the water in a pool somewhere where it's not a lot of people and tell somebody to play some music. Start listening. Okay, start understanding how sound works through electromagnetic. I know they tell you things like electricity can't go in water. Mess around and mess around. Okay, when you are gifted, when you have the gift of shape shifting and different things, only certain things can put a spark in you that will allow that. Okay, I always ask people, when was the last time you touched someone and actually sparked them? Most of y'all have no electric charge, which is why if you run into somebody like me, I'm going to pull out every negative charge you have because I am the total opposite. I am not here to take negative charge. I'm here to put spark into things that forgot. They are the only things worth sparking. Smoke that. Okay? So again, I don't care about the numbers. I'll come here and I'll channel till I get tired. Okay? Can you do the same? Some people's gifts are electromagnetic. We are all, depending on who your bloodline is, electromagnetic. But some of us, your gift is electricity, meaning you are the thing that flows to people. You can hold eye contact with people and change everything in their spirit. Okay? You can place your hand on someone's shoulder and look them in their eyes and take their soul. And I'm gonna tell you something that a lot of people won't tell you. A lot of men who like you to look in their eyes while you do things to them, they are soul snatchers. Okay? They are soul snatchers. And you are electromagnetic and don't know you are because what they are stealing from you is the spark in your eyes. And as more and more people steal your spark, you look into the camera and you have none because they have stolen it electromagnetically. Okay, they talk about Magneto. Let's talk about why they lie so much. Okay, we're gonna be talking about Levi the liar. And again, I don't care about the likes. You can come in here and listen to me all you want. You are not the divine. Only the divine will help you with divine knowledge. So we're gonna give you divine knowledge, and we're gonna give it to you real, raw. Okay, and for those of you who need a deeper understanding and you don't want the wrong tribes to get your healing or information, you are welcome to reach out to me in private. And again, if I don't respond to you, it's probably because I use this black mirror to see you're a snake. So don't be upset when some of us use our gifts. And some of us always have been able to see beyond the veil because it is the veil that can't see beyond us. So again, get your knowledge, get your love, okay? And love is honesty. Love is giving you unperverted knowledge of self. And I don't care what denomination you are. If you want to know what is your path of healing and alignment, if you want to know what is your path of how to disconnect your trauma bonds, if you want to know what spirit is attacking you, how it's attacking you, how to know the events or interactions in your life that is a actual spirit. Okay, some spirits have way more rank than others, and those spirits are absolutely the very things that are going to take you out your body. And most of them come back and use your body too. This is why they won't even let you have your body after you pass away or your families. A lot of y'all come back, and a lot of y'all don't come back as who you were when you left. You can't get back to your body. You don't know how. And again, death was not made to be scary. Okay, you are made to connect on a level to where death never hurts. You don't feel it. You were never made to feel something that is peaceful. If there is life and you don't remember being born, what makes you think when you pass away you were made to feel it in anguish and despair, not departing? Name one thing in nature that grows, okay, and then passes away and doesn't come back again. And I don't care how many times it passes away. Something is keeping you from coming back anew and evolved. And you better think long and hard about why they need you to be stunted so bad, why they want you against things that are called witchcraft and this and that. Most people who are witches and warlocks are the main people who talk against covens and witchcraft, but they will never know about them unless they are rejected from them. And most covens and covenants reject people who are snakes. It doesn't matter what type, which is why past a certain level, this is why a lot of people are internet pastors. But it is so easy to get your credentials and get your own church. They cannot because they are snakes, and most people who take oaths do not let the snakes in. You have to be willing to be one minded. So, again, ask yourself why certain people who say they're not witches and warlocks are always talking about them as if they are following the witches and warlocks for their knowledge. Even Jesus went to a witch and then had that same witch persecuted so that he could pretend the knowledge she gave him was his. Again, tread light, because in a place where everything is full of lies and disguise and people who want to be your snake but praise for it, you need to understand your gifts are better protected quiet. Until you are strong enough to do your gifts and not care about judgment, until you are strong enough to do your gifts without being scared of how much healing comes with it, how many people you're going to have to cut off because they're not going to be able to support you for real. Until you can say, man, everybody's smiling in my face because I'm doing good. But yes, the better you are at your gift, the more you start using it, the more snakes that come out of the woodworks. So you need to understand being healed and aligned and ascending, always and forever ascending. Snakes will follow you to the depths, but there they drown because your gift is what helps you stay afloat. So again, I thank you guys for joining me as I channel. But there really are other things that I must use to pull my energy with. So stay tuned as we do another Under the Bill. We will be talking about many things there. And for those of you who are not scared of your knowledge, understand we are deep diving into knowledge. Only the divine can tell you, only the divine can help you in learning and harnessing. And again, these are your gifts. They have been your gifts. And only the people who don't have them keep telling you they are evil. They are made to protect you from the evil, who know they don't have the gifts to put you in order. You are the order in chaos. Accept that. Everyone doesn't have the ability to say they were given those wise and high ranking positions. Be okay with being the order, and sometimes the order has to be quiet until they're ready to put the chaos in place. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you tune in so you can see what snakes look like, how the snakes smile in your face to get close, and many, many other things. I look forward to seeing my wins soon. Y'all know I'm the sister don't miss.